We're going to talk about motivation, meditation, inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Let's go ahead and start getting this thing going. Let's get ourselves into a place where we're thinking from a positive mentality, positive ability. Start asking yourself the type of question: is it about motivation? Is it about meditation? Is it about inspiration? If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Start getting these energy readings out there going. Start getting the ability to put ourselves in that kind of a mindset, putting ourselves in that kind of a place where we start utilizing the abilities that we do have inside of ourselves to overcome the challenges that we do have. Start utilizing our level of focus, start utilizing our ability to use the things and the gifts that we have inside so that the challenges that we face off against no longer have the ability to hold you back, no longer have the ability to tell you can't do it. So let's go ahead and start looking at some of these ways that we can do that. Once again, we are doing open energy readings for stars. We are definitely putting ourselves out there, giving people the ability to call in to get their energy readings done. So let's go ahead and start talking about focus. So focus can be utilized as a tool. It can be utilized as an ability to go within yourself. It can be utilized as an ability to use the things that you have inside on a daily basis, putting ourselves in a place where we're using focus positively, where we're starting to recognize that the challenges that we face off against, we can overcome. The challenges that we face off against are there for us, and they're there to help us to grow, to actually help us to see that the things that are in front of us are there so that we can overcome them. So today I was asked a question. I was asked, is there such thing as good or bad? That's not how the universe looks at it. The way the universe looks at it is for the person who focuses to the point where they can see the positive and negative forces in the universe being utilized. The universe created by the Most High. The universe utilized in such a way that the thought process and our own opinions don't take over from that place. So when you start to put yourself in a place when you start to utilize the energy in a positive way, you start to utilize the energy in a positive way, you start to put yourself in a place where what you have inside becomes a reflection on the outside, understanding that the challenges that you face off against are truly manifested from within out, understanding the utilization of this, understanding the ability to use what you have and to use the challenges that you face off against. So let's go ahead and start visiting some of these tools. Let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of these tools. Like I was saying, I am connected to multiple networks: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope. My website is motivationmeditationinspiration.yoga. We can definitely get readings going. We can definitely get positivity in such a way that you can start to utilize it. So you can utilize it as a part of your angle, your ability to use the energy that you have so that you can overcome your own challenges. So when we recognize it's not from somebody else, that somebody else can't do it for you, that it is within you that you achieve it, that when you sit down with yourself, when you start to put yourself in a place where the challenges that you're facing off against, you have the ability to overcome. Ultimately, the reflection that will radiate outwards will come from within. Ultimately, will radiate outwards of an ability within yourself. The ability to understand the challenges that you face off against are made for you. So, are you utilizing the challenges that you're facing off against on a daily basis? Are you seeing them working? Are you seeing them through yourself? Are you seeing them in the challenges that you face off against to identify how you could start to use a positive mentality, use a positive availability within yourself to use what you do have, to use the things that you have inside of yourself? So if you're focused to that point, if you're giving yourself that place, if you're going through those kinds of challenges, it is for you to see that you can achieve it. It is for you to see that you have it. It is for you to recognize that when you give yourself the ability to focus on positivity, when you give yourself the ability to utilize positivity in the right direction, utilize the tools that are available to you, speak stuff out, put yourself in a place where you start to stand your ground, where the ability to use the things that you do have are utilized. The challenges that we face off against become a little bit lighter. The things that we go through on a day become a little bit sharper. And so when we start to focus to that point, when we give ourselves that place, when we understand that what is coming from within radiates outwards, then the ability to use the tools in the universe start to ask you the question if you can be utilized as a tool in the universe. So what kind of tools can we use? So an example of a few of these tools is the ability to write stuff down. So when you start to see it in front of yourself, when you start to see it in your ability, when you start to see it in the challenges that you face off against, when you see it in your everyday, and what you have inside is focus, what you have inside becomes a reflection on the outside, what you have inside becomes an understanding that you can do this, that you can achieve it within yourself, then the things that you have inside, the energy that you have inside, the challenges that you have inside, the ability to use what you have becomes available to you. So what kind of challenges are you facing off against today? What kind of place are you going through where an energy reading will give you the ability to understand what you have inside of yourself? What kind of a place can an energy reading give you so that you can start to understand how to focus to a point where you're utilizing the energy that you have inside of yourself? Like I was saying, it is an open energy reading session. It is open for being able to call in. It is open for donations, open for the ability for you to see this. My website is motivationmeditationinspiration.yoga. I've been doing meditation for nearly a decade. So utilization and understanding of the energy inside of oneself gives you the ability to understand the gifts that you have, gives you the ability to use the things that you have inside of yourself. And so when you utilize that with a level of focus, and I mean focus from an understanding of what you have, from the gifts that you have, from the abilities that you have inside of yourself, from the challenges that you face off against daily. So when you start to understand the energy itself relates to you in more than one way. The energy inside relates to you in such a way that you can utilize it as a strength. You can utilize it as an ability. You can utilize it as a blessing within yourself. So when we start to utilize the blessings that we have, the ability for the universe to use those blessings in that way come available to you. So what an energy reading does is it helps you to understand the energy that you have inside of yourself, helps you to start to get the energy flowing in that way that you can start to overcome your challenges. You can start to get down with the things that you have going on inside. And so are you focusing to that place? Are you giving yourself that ability? Are you putting yourself in such a place, the challenges that you face off against, the places that you go, the people that you speak to are putting you in a positive direction? Are you giving yourself the ability to become that kind of positivity? Are you giving yourself that ability to become that kind of focus? Are you giving yourself that ability to overcome the challenges that you have within yourself? And so it comes from a mentality, it comes from an availability for you to recognize that you can have an able mentality, that you can have an able purpose, that you can have challenges, and that you can overcome your own challenges. So are you focusing to that point? Are you putting yourself in a place where the foundation is coming from within you, where, when you look at these things and you recognize that this is what it's going to take. It's going to take me to focus to the point where I achieve it. It's going to take me to focus to the point where what I have inside is that, where these things that are going on within me are my challenges. The challenges that are going on within you are your challenges. So are you facing off against your own challenges with the gifts that you have? Are you facing off against the challenges that you have with the abilities that you have inside of yourself? Have you started to study yourself? Have you started to recognize that you have energy inside of yourself? Have you started to master the understanding of your own energy? So that's where an energy reading comes in. That's where an energy reading is utilized. That's where energy reading has the ability to be used in such a way that focusing to that point means that you are achieving the things that you want to achieve. So, tools that we have available to us. We can listen to positivity. We could put ourselves in a place where we use the things on a daily basis. Blessings, blessings, and thank you there. Blessings. We can give ourselves that ability. We can put ourselves in that kind of a place where we uplift other people. When you start to be using your focus in such a way that the foundation that you have inside of yourself has a place where other people start to get uplifted, where other people start to see the universe working through you, when other people start to see that the energy inside of you understands that level of focus, understands those kinds of challenges, understands that kind of ability, the utilization of that energy in this universe has the ability to use the gifts that you have, has the ability to use the challenges that you have. And so when you put yourself in a place where things like fear move out of the way from a level of focus, when you recognize that you can overcome these types of things with a foundation and focus, when you start to recognize that, you can bypass your emotions when you focus to the point where the emotion no longer has the effect over you. And so what I'm saying to you is you can achieve your dreams by giving yourself the ability to overcome your own challenges. You can achieve your dreams by giving yourself the ability to recognize that you are a gift in the universe, that you are absolutely a tool in this universe, and that you have a purpose. So when you start to recognize what kind of energy you have flowing inside of yourself, you can start to overcome the kinds of challenges that you have inside of yourself. So when we start to see these kind of energies and we start to understand how they work, how they actually work within you, when we start to utilize these energies, we start to put ourselves in a place where that reflection is radiating outwards in such a way that other people see it within you. They start to call you things like a reflection of strength, a reflection of motivation. So the first thing that I ask myself every day, the first question that I ask myself is, am I motivation? Am I meditation? Am I inspiration? Am I focused? Am I knowledge? And am I disciplined? So are you utilizing what you have? Are you utilizing the gifts that you have? If you could speak it out, are you speaking it out? If you can listen to it, are you listening to it? And are you putting yourself in a place where you could focus and bypass to recognize the positive and the negative forces working in the universe, to how they start working in your direction? Are you recognizing that the things in the universe are built in such a way that you can identify that when somebody's throwing negativity at you, it's because it's coming for a positive direction coming your way? So are we putting ourselves in that kind of a place? Are we giving ourselves that kind of an ability to recognize that everything can be turned positive? Every challenge that we face off against, everything that we go through, everything that comes around us in the universe is available to you to utilize. So when you start to recognize that it is available, that you can use it on a daily basis, that you can use it to overcome your own challenges, understanding the energy inside of yourself becomes a purpose within oneself to overcome your own challenges, thus being the reason why it's called an open reading. And so when we utilize that kind of energy, when we utilize that kind of capability, when we utilize that kind of challenges, when we find ourselves in such a place that we start to overcome our challenges from the focus that we have within, the reflection starts to radiate outwards from that level of foundation. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings. Hello. Okay, so with negativity, we do recognize that it no longer is allowed in this channel, right? So I don't allow myself to be around negative people. So when we recognize that the only thing that we allow ourselves is what we choose, we allow ourselves that we can be positive, that we can utilize positivity. Blessings, Brazil. Fala e meu nome, Marcel Luis Pereira. So, when we recognize that we have what it takes within ourselves, that we can uplift other people from us being ourselves, that we can utilize the gifts that we have in the universe, we can focus to the point where we're utilizing what we do have, that we can focus to the point where we only allow positivity to come in our direction, that we only allow things that are happening in such a way that our own level of focus has the ability to move negativity out of the way. And so when we focus to that point, blessings, 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 we focus to the point where we start to achieve that. Then we start to utilize focus as a foundation, focus as an able mentality, focus as an ability to understand the energy within oneself, focus in the ability to utilize what you do have. Blessings, Genevieve. So you guys are welcome to call in to get energy readings. So recognize that I have been definitely doing meditation for an entire pretty much decade almost. Blessings. How are you doing?
Hi. How are you?
Very good. So you utilize a lot of your thought process, huh?
What are you doing?
So you utilize the thought process quite a bit. The way in which you think, a lot of the things that you have around you come to you through thinking.
Thank you.
So a lot of that is actually the ability to utilize that and to understand that. And so that is a blessing to you. So when you actually hear what I'm saying here, so this person is not going to be a part of it. I'm blocking them. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and bring in this other person here. Blessings.
Hello.
Blessings. And where are we calling from?
Thank you.
Okay, well, I do hope that you have a blessed day, okay? Okay, so people that leave that kind of stuff, they bring that kind of stuff so that we can see the positivity. Okay, we need to recognize that because for each action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when we see the positivity in that there are actually people out there that want to be brought in a positive direction, that want to utilize the abilities that they have inside of themselves, want to be able to utilize the gifts that they have. We start to see that those type of people, we have to allow them to move out of the way on their own. And one of those tools in this network is to be able to not allow them to be a part of that. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So when we utilize the gifts that we have, like for instance, I'm sure that you see quite a bit of yellow around you, because utilizing the thought process utilizes that place of the energy field within oneself. So I see those things as positivity. The place where we focus to that point where we start to achieve it is when we can see the positivity and we can utilize the challenges that we face off against so that we can overcome them. And so not allowing negativity to be around you, not allowing things that would stop you from focusing on the ability to use the gifts that you have, utilize the focus that you have inside of yourself, utilize the challenges that you face off against, ultimately gives you the ability to recognize that you are a gift in the universe. And so when you identify with them, For each action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So we recognize that that is for a positivity. It is for the ability to utilize that. It is for the ability to see that positivity is coming in our direction. The positivity is coming from a level of focus to achieve a place, even when people are trying to derail you, that the utilization is within you. The utilization is the ability to use that kind of energy in a positive direction. And so that's where writing stuff down, speaking stuff out, putting yourself in a place where you use the challenges that you face off against, have the ability to overcome the challenges within yourself. And so, are you focusing to that place? Are you giving yourself that ability? Are you becoming that kind of blessing in the universe where you can identify and you're not allowing yourself to be in a place where the things that are not bringing you towards positivity are coming around you? See, it's up to us to allow ourselves to put in such a place that we put ourselves into negative places. We have to focus past that. We need to recognize that the universe gives the ability for those things to move out of the way. And they move out of the way on their own as well, too. So we have to focus on writing stuff down. We have to focus on the ability to listen to positivity, to recognize that when we speak stuff out positively, when we start to see how to turn things positive, we see how to put things in such a positive way that the direction gives you the ability to identify with Newton's third law. For each action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So we're going to take that and put it in a positive direction. We're going to put it in a positive way, that it is a blessing to see that happen. Because that means we're moving in that right direction. We're putting ourselves in a way where the mentality is an able mentality. The mentality to overcome our own challenges is within ourselves. The mentality to give ourselves a place to believe in ourselves. That it isn't about them, it's about you versus you. It's about you overcoming your own challenges, you finding the light inside of yourself, giving yourself the ability to focus to the point where the universe has the ability to utilize you as a tool, has the ability to use the tools that you have inside of yourself, has the ability to use the challenges that you face off against and the blessings that you have inside. And so are we focusing in that direction? Are we putting ourselves in that kind of a place? Are we asking ourselves that kind of a question? Is this what we're looking at? Are we able to focus to the point where we can even talk about focus for 30 minutes? Where we can even put ourselves in a place where we can manifest from the ability to achieve it for ourselves, that other people can see as possible for them within themselves. And so often I'm asked, how do you get to the place of meditation? How do you get to the ability to block out the chatter? And so that's the exact way, by not allowing it to affect you, by not allowing it to have the place inside of you, by not allowing it to have any effect over you. And so that's the same way that you allow yourself to have a place of foundation of focus. So when you focus, you allow yourself to write stuff down. You allow yourself to speak stuff out. You allow yourself to put yourself in a place where you identify it as a positivity. So when negativity comes, you can identify it's because positivity is coming in your direction. So it is actually a blessing for that, to see that force in the universe working in your favor, in your direction. So when you go to places and you're working in professions, and you can focus past it, you can actually put yourself in a place where you achieve the place where others won't go, when you can achieve the place where others won't do. You can do things that others won't do by identifying that the universal laws, such as Newton's third law of motion, can work in your favor. And so that's what I'm talking about by utilizing the universe, utilizing the energy inside of yourself to understand yourself, utilizing the energy inside of yourself to focus to that point, to where you can uplift other people, where the challenges that you face off against, you can overcome with you. So when you believe in yourself to that point inside of you, where when you actually write stuff down, the gift and the tool coming out of it is you. When you start to speak it out, the gift and the tool coming out of it is you. When you start to uplift other people, the gift and the tool coming out of it is you. So ultimately it's going to be you versus you. It's ultimately going to be you who lifts you up. It's ultimately you that's going to challenge yourself on a daily. It's ultimately you that's going to be a blessing of the universe by the utilization of the gifts that you have. So, how do we start to utilize these gifts? We start to recognize that we are a tool in this universe. The universe has the ability to use the tools that you have, that I have, so we can utilize them so that the tools can ask us if we are able to be used that way. If you take a car to a mechanic shop and he doesn't have the right tools, he can't work on your car. So this is the same thing with you. If you don't recognize the energy that you have within yourself and how to utilize it, then you can't utilize the universe to the highest level of understanding. So that's the purpose of an energy reading, is to get that energy to that right direction, to get that energy in such a way that you have the ability to utilize it, that you have the ability to start to understand it, that you have the ability to recognize it's not somebody else that's going to lift you up. It's going to be who you are inside. Like I was saying, if you want to get an energy reading done, leave a comment, energy reading on one of my networks. Connect with me. We'll get that set up for you. We'll get a reading done there. So donations are welcome, definitely, because it takes quite a bit of energy to do a reading. It takes quite a bit of an ability. I've been doing meditation since I was 27 and I'm 34, so nearly 8 years. So understanding how to utilize these types of things, utilize the abilities that we have inside of ourselves, utilize the focus inside of ourselves so that we can go inwards, so that we can start to get it to manifest on the outside. And so when you start to go within yourself, when you start to get to that place where what on the outside is becoming that kind of reflection, when it starts to become that kind of reflection, the manifestation comes your way. The ability to test you comes your way. The ability to use the challenges that you face off against comes your way. And so are you using those kinds of blessings? Are you putting yourself in that place where you are the right tool for the challenges that you take on? That you are taking on the right challenges that you can overcome. So when we focus with the gifts that we have inside, we focus with the ability to use a foundation of focus. We focus with the ability to use the things that we can do to overcome the challenges that we face off against on a daily basis. It comes down to a level of focus. It comes down to you versus you. Nobody else is going to pick you up. Nobody else is going to put you on a pedestal. It's up to you to get back up. It's up to you to recognize that those hits, those things that came your way, were there for you to identify how to take them from a negative and turn them into a positive. Take them from a place where you can see the challenges that you face off against is your mentality. The challenges that you face off against is your ability. The challenges that you face off against are within you. And so when you are willing to focus to that point, when you're willing to give yourself that ability, when you're willing to focus so that the challenges can be overcome, the ability for utilizing that on a daily is within you. And so an able mentality comes from an ability to focus, and when you see the things in front of you, you start to achieve them. When you start to see the things in front of you and they start to become you. So when you are so focused that other people call you a reflection of motivation, other people call you a reflection of strength, other people call you a reflection of determination from your simplicity of your focus. So I was asked a question. So I do my own practice of meditation. I have a lineage of 5 generations of meditation on my mother's side, and my father's side, he meditated as well. So I look at a lot of these different texts and I recognize and I understand the readings of these texts. So what I have recognized is that the utilization of energy is readable. It is provable. It is the understanding of utilizing one's focus to the point where they can read the energy within oneself to allow the universe to use what they do, which is meditate, as a ability, as a tool. And so I have got to the point within meditation where I am a student inside of the classroom with the teacher within oneself, to the place of sufficient knowledge within oneself where the reflection is that of discipline, which is a reflection of inspiration. So when you use those tools that you have, those abilities that you have inside of yourself, when you use those abilities that you have inside of yourself to the point where you start to break down the energy fields inside of yourself, when you start to recognize that nobody else is going to pick you up, nobody else is going to do it for you, nobody else can, and you don't need anybody else to do it for you. What you have inside is sufficient. The place where the student, from within the level of focus, within the foundation in the universe, within the foundation in the ability to recognize that, goes within oneself, the universe starts to ask the question, do you really want it? Do you really want what you have inside of yourself? Do you really want the ability to achieve your dreams? Do you really want the ability to achieve your goals? And so when you focus to that point where you are doing that on a daily basis, where the practice within oneself is coming as a reflection outwards of one's self-study, when you're putting yourself in that place where you are centered within oneself, when you're focused to the point where the energy radiating outwards comes from the extraction of knowledge to focus. So when you get to the place where focus becomes the student inside of the classroom, where the absorption comes inwards, the simplicity of the breath, the simplicity of the universe being utilized in such a way that you can recognize that kind of connection of focus, that kind of foundation within yourself starts to become a utilization. And so when you can see that happening around you, when it manifests itself in front of you, when it is other people that can see you as a student within yourself, when you start to see that with the connection of your breath, with your ability to be who you are truly within who you are, when you use those kind of gifts that you have available to you from the Most High in the universe, when you start to recognize this is a liberation within oneself, the things like fear move out of the way, the emotions move out of the way, the ability to get down with the challenges that you truly face off against so that you can get down to become the student of your life. So when we focus and we start to see ourselves go inwards, we start to connect the energy inwards, we start to get to the place inside of ourselves where it is you versus you, where the challenges that you take on are blessings, where the challenges that you face off against heat up the universe within yourself, heat up the ability within yourself, heat up the ability to become patient with oneself, the ability to bypass the energy fields. Blockage becomes available, like a thread being unthreaded within the universe. That nut of knowledge or seed of knowledge starts to become available to the tool or foundation of focus, starts to become available to the energy within yourself, starts to give you the ability to break down the subjects of energy within oneself. So when we start to break down the subjects of energy within oneself, we start to understand the subjects of energy within ourselves. Blessings. So I do energy readings, positivity, please only.
Right, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's like, hello?
Blessings. Yes, you're in here.
Hi.
Blessings.
Right. No, right, man. You guys, there's so many, like, negative people on, like, this entire thing. So I guess a breath of fresh air when you're doing stuff like this.
I'm here to uplift you. I've been doing meditation for nearly a decade. I do energy readings. I have motivation, meditation, inspiration. I talk about focus and the ability to overcome your challenges for 30 minutes a day, meditation for 10 minutes a day, and inspiration for 20 minutes a day.
How did you get into this? Like, well, how did you find out that this was your passion?
So, in fact, in the state of Arizona, the name Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration is actually my business name.
Oh, wow.
So, let's just go ahead and go. I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram page, I have a YouTube page, and I can read energy inside of human beings.
Okay.
So, I was inside the sauna, and I've been inside a sauna for upwards of 5 hours straight before, off and on for an additional 3 hours.
What?
So, what I'm talking about is really being able to understand the energy within the two of you. Okay?
Okay.
People who sit down to do a meditation lesson with me, no matter how high they call themselves or whatever place they go, when they sit down to do meditation with me, they find themselves with a teacher. Are you with me?
Yeah. This is amazing. All right, go on.
So, what I'm looking at here is two different types of energies in front of me. Now, on the left-hand side, you utilize your thought process, but you utilize a lot of your depth perception, which means in your life, a lot of the things that people come to you for the place of depth.
Is this the left, like me,
So that's you.
or the left? Oh, okay. Okay.
On the right-hand side, so I'm doing two readings at one time here. On the right-hand side, we have somebody who has a lot of emotional attachment to the ability to feeling like they need to stand their ground, which is a blessing in itself. But you must understand how the energy flows within yourselves.
Is that good?
It's actually a blessing because each individual has energy inside of themselves. Now, I put this out there so people can actually be able to utilize this. I did 7 energy readings one night, and the energy within myself was at a place where people were starting to ask me, and they were like, wow, you should be doing this as a profession. Are you guys with me on that?
Yes.
So, whatever you guys want to throw at me as a blessing, my website is there. But let me go ahead and give you guys a reading so you can see this, so you can actually experience this as a double, okay?
Okay.
So,
This is like unbelievable here. Like, all right.
so this is 2 energy readings at one time, okay?
Okay.
So, what basically has come to us is 2 different parts of a spectrum. Is that a lot of the thought process for Margina has come from an ability to have to feel like she could stand her ground in her life. Margina. So recognize that that's a blessing so that you can start to stand your ground and the ability to see your future. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
So use those kind of strengths in your way. Now, when a person understands what type of energy one has inside of oneself, it isn't to stop or bring down. It's so that you can see the strengths and how you can overcome your own challenges. An energy reading is the ability to understand the energy within oneself so that they can strengthen themselves.
Okay.
So, with the challenges though, like, do you have any, like, on my side?
Sure. So your depth perception is up there. You have a very good nervous system, which is the Nadi system, which means you don't feel claustrophobic. A lot of people do come to you with whatever you do. They come to you, you utilize your depth perception. The place that's being lost is down below in the heart.
What does that mean?
So the heart has 2 parts, the upper chamber and the lower chamber of the heart. The lower chamber of the heart has to deal with the understanding. The upper chamber has to deal with the relation. It's not the relation that challenges you the most. It's the understanding that challenges you the most because you're dominant in your depth perception and your ability to feel the things around you. That's why those people come to you.
More like the upper or the lower of the heart.
So the lower part of the heart is nearest to the thought process, the yellow energy field. Okay? So the thought process in energy is inside of the stomach area. Okay? As it goes up, it goes into a place of understanding inside of the heart in such relation.
Oh, okay, okay.
As you head upwards, it goes into the voicing of oneself. Because the next area is the blue energy. So the challenge is the understanding. You know how to voice yourself well.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I feel I feel I can hold it. I can hold it. I can hold a conversation. I can hold a conversation. I can hold a conversation really well.
I got that. I can read the energy in the universe. I understand that. I understand that. It has to deal with the relation.
Yeah.
That's where the thought process has the challenge within yourself. You have the nervous system, you can feel people around you. But when it comes to standing the ground, you would let them go to the side because the place that you have, they come for advice from you.
Right. You know what? Okay. I'm actually starting to agree with this.
So that's what it's about. So now you recognize how to overcome those challenges. Now what needs to happen is you need to start putting yourself in a way where you can start to see the positivity of the ability to utilize. This is 2 energy readings once again at one time, okay? So this is
Do
for...
you ever do this and then like signals get crossed?
No, there's no signal that's crossed in any single direction. The universe can utilize understanding of the energy within the universe. I am just a tool in the universe. The focus, the knowledge that I have inside has the ability to read the energy within yourself so that you can help yourself. Are you with me?
Yes.
So recognize that you guys have those different kinds of energies so that you can help yourself to strengthen you.
That's crazy.
That's a blessing. I help people out every single day with this type of stuff. So recognize that it's there for you so that you can overcome your own challenges. And so when you see that you can do that with what you do have, that you can do that from within yourself, that the availability to utilize that is there for you, then the challenges no longer look like a challenge. They look like an ability to use the things that you have to overcome your challenges. So that is what an energy reading is.
Wow.
So we'll go ahead and get this guy back on here. So, like I was saying, I have been doing this for quite some time. I do understand how to read energy. I understand how to direct energy. I understand how to utilize energy in the universe. So when we recognize that we are tools in the universe, that our focus and our knowledge can be utilized, that we have gifts in the universe that are utilized, which are each of us, the things that we do, the way in which we use the energy inside of ourselves, the way in which we help other people, which is the blessing, the reason why I do these kind of readings, the reason why I get down with these kinds of challenges, the reason why I get to this place where I start to help out other people, is because I want you to see your knowledge and your focus can be utilized within yourself. The knowledge and the focus within oneself can become that kind of a blessing. The knowledge and the focus within oneself can become that kind of understanding. It can become that kind of place where the things that you go through, you can overcome. The things you go through are within you. The things that you're going through are there for you to recognize that you have the strength to overcome them. That what you have inside of yourself is absolutely blessings that are knowledge and focus. When one centers oneself with this, when one gives oneself that ability, when one puts oneself in such a place where they use the gifts that they have, the universe has the ability to utilize your gifts, has the ability to utilize your availability. And so I hear it over and over and over again. People saying, wow, it's amazing that you can actually see that you can understand that, you can get down with that kind of energy within yourself, that you can get to that place where you uplift other people, where you give yourself that ability, where you get down with your own challenges within yourself. Blessings. So when we start to see this, when we start to achieve it, when we start to give ourselves that kind of focus, where what is coming is a manifestation on the outside, where what is coming is a level of focus that achieves that kind of place, where the light inside of yourself can radiate with the energy that flows inside, that it can radiate with an ability within yourself, that you have what it takes to face off against the challenges that you face off against, and you ultimately can overcome your challenges with the gifts that you have inside. And so focus to that place. Give yourself that ability to become a blessing in the universe. Give yourself that ability to use the gifts that you have. So many people have so many different beautiful gifts in this universe. Uplift other people. Use the knowledge and the focus that you have inside of yourself to create a place of discipline, to create a place where the reflection radiates outwards, to create a place where you create a reflection of inspiration. And so when we connect ourselves with that kind of centering, when we connect ourselves with that kind of understanding, when we connect ourselves with that kind of ability, when we start to achieve a light from within oneself, when we start to achieve a light in such a way that it uplifts other people, when their days become a little bit brighter, they shine a little bit sharper because you're there. Because when you have the ability inside of yourself to be who you are, when what you truly have inside of yourself bleeds out a reflection of inspiration, it lights up this world. It lights up the knowledge and the focus inside of yourself, where your whole being becomes connected, where other people identify with you as an inspiration. And so this universe gives us this kind of test as blessings. They give us the ability to see Newton's third law working in action. They give us the ability to see mass and energy is interchangeable, Einstein's theory of relativity. They give us the ability to see that we can do it. And I'm telling you, what you have inside is that kind of a blessing. What you have inside is that kind of reflection. What you have inside is that kind of continuing ability to reflect outwards from within. So ask yourself on a daily basis, how can I lighten the world of myself by lightening other people's worlds together? How can I put myself in a place where the reflection radiates outwards? How can I give myself the ability to use what I have inside, the challenges that I face off against, the things that I go through, the places that I go, the reflection that I go through from within oneself to become a manifestation on the outside, is through reflection. It's through the ability to use the gifts that you have. And I'm telling you, so many people have so many different gifts that they will focus to the ability to where they can extract that knowledge. If they will focus to the ability where the connection of knowledge and focus is centered within oneself, where the connection of focus and knowledge is within oneself, where it is an ability to use what you got. Are you seeing that you are a blessing? This is for you. If you are in that dark place, recognize you can lift yourself up. You can get up. You can use the tools that you have. You can lift yourself up. You can get out of that situation by believing in yourself, by believing that you are sufficient within you, that you have what it takes, that other people will see that as a reflection of inspiration, that you can do this, that it is worth it, that the challenges that you face off against, you have the ability to overcome, that you have the ability to use those things inside of yourself, that you have the ability to become that kind of a blessing, and that those types of things no longer have the ability to affect you. We start to see these things radiating outwards from within you. We start to see these things radiating outwards in such a way that you can achieve it, that you can become it, that you can do it no matter what's going on around you, no matter the place, the challenges that you face off against. The blessings from within oneself radiate outward. The blessings from within oneself is the ability. The blessings from within oneself is the understanding. The blessings from within oneself is the ability. So the blessings within oneself is the ability to overcome those kinds of challenges. And so you have it inside of yourself. You have the ability to answer the question to you. You have the ability to become a light in this universe. And so recognize that you can do it, that you can achieve it, that you can become it, that you are absolutely a blessing, that you are absolutely an ability, that you are absolutely a reflection outwards, that what comes from within can radiate out. When you focus to that point where it's as simple as your incoming breath, your centering of oneself, and the outgoing breath being the student and the teacher, when you give yourself that ability, blessings, Gemma. So recognize that that's what it takes. That's what it takes within ourselves. It takes a level of focus, a level of knowledge, a level of availability to gain that kind of reflection outwards, that kind of understanding, that kind of knowledge that you are sufficient to be yourself, that you are sufficient to face off against the challenges that you face off against, that your reflection that radiates outwards from a place of discipline is a blessing. When we really truly who we are, the blessings in this universe can use your whole being. It can use your focus. It can use your knowledge as a teacher within yourself, within the simplicity of your breath, within the simplicity of your understanding, within the simplicity of who you are inside, and that reflection radiating outwards, that reflection radiating from within, that light in the universe is such a blessing. And I'm telling you, when you use these kind of blessings on a daily basis, it uplifts other people. It creates that kind of a manifestation around you. It gives you the ability to see that you can do this, that you are worth it. And when you hear that for yourself, when that light inside of you lights up and the darkness becomes bright, because from darkness to light is what it's about, to achieve you, the gifts that you have, the blessings in this universe that you have, the ability to use the things that you have on a daily basis, the reflection outwards, the understanding of the Most High, and the blessings in this universe utilized through you. It's as simple as your breathing. It's as simple as you being you. So reflect outwards from those kind of blessings. Put yourself in that place where you can achieve you. I just want to leave you with a lot of blessings as always. Blessings and namaste.